Hello. Hey everyone, how are you? Oops. Hello, hello, hello. I'm like, where am I hearing a sound from? Okay, maybe that's what it was. Hello, 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 hello. Hey everyone, happy Sunday. What's going on? Let me see. Can I see my avatar pop? Okay. What's going on? Did you guys watch Real Housewives tonight? Hey Anisha, hi Latoy. What's going on? What is going on? Yeah, I just got finished watching Real Housewives, so I said, you know what? Let me go ahead, let me come live, and let's talk about it and see what you guys thought. So I know we didn't talk. We're into episode 4. We talked about the first episode, and there's been so much to happen in episode 2, 3, and 4. So I kind of want to sum up 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to drop the call in case anyone wants to call in and chime in. You're more than welcome to. Um, I didn't record any notes. I think I recorded notes for episode 2. So I'm going off the dome of what I remember. But I think just some of the most important things. Yeah, it was okay, so you guys had a good day. You enjoyed your Sunday. Um Yes, it was very nice. I pretty much like chilled the whole weekend. I kind of just was not really trying to do anything YouTube this weekend. I was tired, even though I am doing stuff that's YouTube. I mean, let's face it, like I have to review comments, I have to release comments, things like that. But as far as really like jumping in and, wanting to go live and stuff like that, I just kind of wasn't feeling it. I just needed to kind of take a break. Hey, Taylor, how are you, hon? So, yeah, I just took a little bit of a break from YouTube, as if there is such a thing, but just really more so from going live and kind of like trying to keep my finger on the pulse of what was going on. I just really didn't feel like it. Friday I had a really super long work day, and then I just basically almost passed out. Hey, LOL, how are you, hun? And then yesterday, Farah and I went out, enjoyed our day. And then today we kind of chilled a little bit and then did some things. You'll see it in the vlog. But we had another nice day. Um, but because I want to stay ahead, I said, let me go ahead and let's do some Real Housewives. I mean, there's so much going on. Um, like other entertainment stuff. Obviously, Rihanna had her baby. When was that? Friday, I think. Friday evening, or was it yesterday? Rihanna had her baby. She had a son, and so much going on over there. That's a whole lot. Courtney, I guess she got married before Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Baker. They got married, some weeks ago, Mother's Day weekend, but they were going to have their big wedding, which they ended up having this weekend. So that was really interesting and pretty. And we can talk more about that one day this week. I would love to, because she's a 40 plus year old woman and had 3 kids with her boyfriend that she never married. And now in her 40s, a grown woman with, not grown kids, but all school age children, put it that way. Um, Now getting married for the first time to a guy who has pretty much grown kids, of course, Scott Disick trying his best to not look bothered and hurt, all of those things, right? So, very interesting dynamic there. Last time they were all in Italy like that was for Kim's wedding, and now Kim came back a divorcee with her 4 children, looking real silly. Kim's got her own issues. Hi, Shonda. How's everybody doing? Did I put up let me put this up. Oh, here it is. Can I pin from here? No, I cannot. Hold on. Let me go over to the other side. Guys, don't forget to vote. Let me see. Let me pin my comment. I put the call in. Let me do it again because forget it. Forget about trying to scroll back. Okay, let's pin this. Okay, so lots of entertainment news. Number one, Rihanna had her baby. from what I understand, mommy is healthy and lots going on with that. You know, successful, very wealthy woman with a boyfriend who's interesting, and baby daddy, right? Um, Courtney getting married, that whole thing. What else was going on this weekend? I feel like those were the two main things. I'm sure there's something else that I'm not thinking of. But let's jump into Real Housewives, guys. Other Real Housewives news, I don't know. I do kind of watch a little bit of on Candy's and Todd's network. Todd does something with the men. I can't remember what it's called. Have you guys seen this? Where Todd, Sonya's husband, and Ralph, Drew's husband, all get together and talk. Really silly. Um, let's see. There was some gossip that potentially Cynthia's ex-husband was seeing Giselle, which Peter Thomas was potentially seeing Giselle, which I thought was really weird. I did also see a tour of Nini's Buckhead condo, $1.8 million, something like that. So that was pretty interesting. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. So if you guys want to talk more Atlanta Housewives gossip, we can definitely do that. But yeah, the word on the street was that there was something with Giselle and Peter, but I don't know how true that is. And also Nini's new condo and, you know, all the other things. And she's dating a Liberian, right? I think. Um, Okay. All right. So let's jump in. Episode 2. So you guys remember Drew from last season, right? Drew and her husband, Ralph, is weird to me. I don't really particularly like Ralph. But Ralph and Drew in season 2, that's where we kind of, they expanded on that story of the whole thing with his assistant, that whole thing. And I don't know. I just find that Drew as a wife is so sensitive. She's really, really sensitive. And I'm not going to say I don't know why she's in her feelings, but she is very much in her feelings with her husband. And I know in last week's episode, they kind of really went into the whole thing of him gaslighting her and him talking down to her, him talking to her like she's kind of a little bit stupid and a little bit airheaded, even though she does know what's going on, even though she does come off a little dingy. Drew's not stupid, but I don't know. I think that she feels a little disempowered by her husband. So she clams up a lot and then she just kind of starts crying, which doesn't really do her any good. So I don't know what you guys think about that. I like Drew and I think that she's a good character. But as far as like getting where she wants to go with her husband, it's going to be a problem because all she does is kind of get herself in her feelings. And I think that if she continues to get herself in her feelings like this, um, her husband seems to be kind of not really here for it. So, yeah, Todd has a show. Let me copy this. It's on Candy's channel, Candy Online. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's Candy Online, and it's Real Talk, Real Husbands. And it's with the only two other husbands on this season because, of course, hi, Cassandra. How are you, hun? Um, Kenya's single. Sheree is somewhat single because she's with Tyrone. And then Marlo, who is, I'm assuming, single. I don't know. Something's up over there. So the only ones that we have that are actually truly married is Candy, Sonia, and Drew. So Drew is the one who's super hurt over her husband. So much drama. Episode 2, I think we also saw that they did kind of a date night, And he had a special night planned, Ralph, her husband, at his tailor's studio where they had a nice, kind of sexy catered evening for two. And, Drew never seems to um, be able to read the room and just have a night where she's not trying to discuss about the past hurts and failures of their relationship. And she just wants to talk so bad about what happened in their past. And I get it that she wants answers and everything, but I just think, like, at a certain point, not that you have to forget, but you got to kind of let it go. Sorry, guys. I am so thirsty tonight. I think he's cheating too. Something's up with him. He's really very rude and distant to her. So I'm not really sure what that's all about and why he would behave in such a manner if he's truly invested in the relationship. It's weird, but you would think if he was cheating, it would come out by now because most of the time that's what happens. So I said, who's messier, Sheree and Kenya? It seems like every episode, Sheree and Kenya are getting together about something. Like what? What happened? Um, Drew and her assistant. Her assistant is also Sheree's assistant, and the assistant has been dragging Sheree for, telling all her business, telling all of Sheree's business, and also the fact that the assistant is alleging that Sheree has either been late to pay, or slow to pay, and that's not a good look. The men are very messy. Todd, I think, is messy. Sonia's husband, I don't think is so messy, but Ralph is messy in the sense that he's an asshole. And pretty much Candy and anyone she talks to. Candy gets to talking to somebody, it's messy. Candy is like an extremely messy person, is what I'm seeing. So I don't know. You guys are voting. So far, you guys say the men 6%, Candy and anyone 12%. 19% Drew and her assistant, and 62% Sheree and Kenya. Sheree and Kenya are just about one of the messiest duos I've seen. I mean, they are just about as messy as when Candy and Phaedra used to get together, or even Phaedra and anybody. Phaedra and Portia used to be funny. Phaedra and Candy used to be funny. Phaedra and Apollo was definitely funny. Phaedra and Mr. Dwight was funny. Phaedra was messy, period, with everybody. But when Candy's involved, hi Virgo doll. Guys, I hope this isn't coming through like ASMR with me drinking my water, but I'm telling you, I'm so thirsty, I can't. I took an allergy pill yesterday, and that could be what's doing it, because sometimes allergy pills, obviously, they kind of dry you up, and I don't know, I'm super thirsty. So anyway, but yeah, Drew and Ralph, a mess. So we're going to see how this season unfolds. We're still at the very beginning, but it's not looking so good. So tonight in episode 4, they're all in New York, and they were kind of doing a let's talk about your most random, weirdest sexual experience. And did anybody have a good story? Marlo made her story up. Kenya made her story up. I felt like everybody's story was made up. Everyone's story was bad. And I don't know. These are just some strange couples. But they decided to take a limo ride or sprinter ride over to New Jersey, where Todd has a condo. And the condo was beat the hell up. I would have thought that after them, Candy and Todd being married now, I don't even know how long, 6, 7 years, 8 years almost. I feel like they got married soon after I got married. So maybe 2015, 2016. I got married in 2014. I just would have thought, like, why is this condo still beat up? Why? So, hold on, let me see. Do I have any pictures of that? I would have thought that the condo would have been done over by now. Here's the ladies. Let me see, it's a better picture. So yeah, I would have thought the condo would have been done over by now. There's Sonia and Drew. Drew takes on many faces. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Um, that's not clear. Let's see. Okay, that's a better, clearer picture. So there's Candy. Look at Candy. Candy, where is your Spanx? Where are your clothes that fit? What is going on? I don't get it. I This is a wealthy woman. She definitely has some money. Why do your clothes fit bad all the time? Drew, that wig is awful. Sonia, awful. Kenya, I mean, I'm okay with Kenya's dress. The everybody, I don't know what's going on with this cast. I don't know who's helping these people get dressed, who's helping them find clothes, but it's not working. You see some Real Housewives franchises and everyone is super well dressed, but there are some franchises where the women are very, very wealthy. And not that these women are not wealthy or don't have some money. Um, but I just, girl, some of the fashions have been awful. And, they are, I don't know, I don't want to say they're just moms, but I would just expect that a little bit better. But yeah, Candy, I don't know what that was. It was bad. And there's Candy right over there. Look at Candy off to the side, probably looking at her phone. And did you guys catch the storyline of them kind of throwing Todd under the bus? This whole apartment thing, this whole Todd, not so much Todd disappearing, but I guess in a way, Todd not being around or not being as available. And Todd kind of, I don't know. They didn't throw him out there for cheating, but it's just weird. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I miss Portia. I miss Portia. I also miss Phaedra. Yeah, I do. I even almost miss Cynthia. I mean, I miss anyone who's going to keep this story progressing because Drew, I think she could park on wanting to cry and complain about her husband, period. And Sonia, where's the drama? I don't know what the drama is. Is the drama just her mom lives with them, her sister stays there? Um, I don't know. I don't know what the drama is supposed to be with these two, but I don't know. I would have a hard time selling out my marriage for a spot on Real Housewives. I just couldn't do it. So I'm not really sure where that's going with Sonya. I hate to say it, but she'll end up being one of these boring ones, even though she does keep it popping and she is very messy. But it's like you got to bring something to the pot. And her just kind of being able to stir the pot isn't always enough for her, needing to actually bring something, because it can't be just one or two people carrying the whole thing because Kenya clearly has no business. Kenya is just finishing up her divorce. They were up in New York for the tea party for Brooklyn last week, and Kenya doesn't have a man. And I think a lot of what Drew is going through kind of triggers Kenya because she sure does get vocal with Ralph about Kenya. But it's kind of like, okay. And then Candy and Todd seem to be going at it again. I don't know if it's that Candy doesn't really want Todd to do anything, or she doesn't want him to do his thing, not where he can be accessible to her. But I don't know. They're all very strange. And to me personally, if you're going to try to hold on to your husband, let him go a little bit. Like, let him go, let him have a life, and trust that he's going to do the right thing, because having a man in your life and treating him like a baby is not a way to keep a man in your life. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not going to work. Okay. I thought he would have sold that condo. That condo is a mess. The condo doesn't even look good. Excuse me, guys. Okay. Um Kenya's always hated Kenya, Kenya's job, I think, from season one has been to be disagreeable with everybody. I mean, Kenya basically to me was almost hired to come in and just always cause drama and chaos. That's been her main job since the beginning. And even when she's being nice and genuine, I'm always still kind of waiting for her to come in and do something silly. I don't trust Kenya. I don't like Kenya. Kenya is not someone who I could ever be friends with. I don't like how she operates. When I saw how she did with Porsche, with Phaedra and Apollo, yeah, I would have handled her a long time ago. But she's good for the show, so people, they enjoy her. But yeah, when Kenya came in, it changed the whole dynamic of the show. And I guess so, because she ran off everybody. She ran off literally Nene, Portia, Phaedra, damn everybody. Yeah. I mean, the only one she has not ran off is Candy. And I don't know that she hasn't tried. And I'm trying to figure out, was it episode 2 when we saw Candy's basement in the second house, in her guest house down in the basement with the pool? Why in the world, with these two big houses, which I guess that's furniture for the pool room, but I don't understand how you have this pool room, and I would imagine cabanas or some type of rooms in that basement floor, or some storage, but why you have to keep everything in the pool? In the empty, dried out pool. Like, I'm trying to understand what's going on with, like, why is it that Todd has to finish the renovations for the house? There's nobody else at that house when you guys are not there, like a house manager, a housekeeper, house manager, somebody to upkeep the house when you guys are not there. Because I can't imagine that Todd is there all the time, and that the grandmother is there all the time. Who is keeping up with the kids, keeping the house together, and no house manager who can oversee the construction people, um, or just help with the project as some sort of a house management, or something like, I don't know. I just You're on a TV show. I just don't understand how you have a reality show where and it's a TV show where your house is a set, and that these people, and that she does not have her pool done, and doesn't have like a shitload of like hoarder looking stuff in her pool. I just thought it was weird. And then came and showed it to us. Meanwhile, I guess that's where they decided that they wanted to have the conversation about Todd's apartment in New Jersey. So to me, that was very strange. Yeah, Kenya wants to. Yeah, Kenya doesn't like Marlo. They've never liked each other. Why we don't really know. Um, there was a little bit of backstory there, but I want to say it goes back to when they were in Africa, when Nene brought Marlo to Africa on that trip. That's the trip where Candy and Todd kind of got together, and we all know that Phaedra is the one who spoke to Todd and kind of brought them together. So anyway, but yeah, guys, it was an interesting episode. They're in New York. They had a tea party last week that kind of went weird. So now is a really good time to get caught up. If you're not caught up, you haven't been watching the episodes, I would go ahead and get into it so we can get all the way caught up next week. But tonight's episode was pretty good. It's episode 4. They're in New York. Things are just kicking off. The main things I would say are this, which let me bring up the picture. So we've got Sheree, which we don't know what's going on with Sheree. I mean, we see the kids, but there was no detail. She says Tyrone is out of prison and he's at the house. What that means, I don't know. I'm assuming that means that they're seeing each other and he's home and he's staying with her. I guess, right? Okay. And then next to Sheree, starting from the left, that's Drew. Drew is married to Ralph. Ralph is an asshole. Ralph tries to gaslight, and Drew likes to play super sensitive and cries a lot. And that's basically her character right now, kind of like the hurt housewife. And they're doing a 30-day challenge where they're not supposed to talk down to each other, be abusive to each other, bicker, all of those things. So we're waiting to see how that goes. Kenya, I believe at this point is now just getting a settlement with her ex-husband. And last week they went and did a birthday party in New York for Brooklyn. And then there is Marlo, which we all know Marlo. Marlo finally got a peach. And Marlo is basically raising her 2 nephews. And then we've got Candy. Candy and Todd seem to be having some sort of trouble. What the trouble is, we don't know. He's got a condo in New Jersey that I would be worried nothing about. There's nothing in there. There's not even a bed in there. The condo is empty. That is a condo that Todd owned once upon a time with a girlfriend. I think he was still on the deed or the mortgage, and he says that he ended up taking the house over. That was all we kind of heard of the details. I don't know what the other details are, but Candy is also going to be spending time in New York because she's producing a play. And according to Todd, she's too busy. So Candy doesn't like that. And, he's like, well, I've got my apartment here. And, he thinks that that's something to put in the portfolio for the kids. I don't, these two, I don't know what they got going on. And then Sonia is a Olympian. She has her mother living at her house with her father. So her parents live at the house with her. She also moved her sister's husband, and kids. So they've got like a ton of people living in one house. So how many is that? That's like 6 adults in one house and children. And they're just, multi-generational home. And she's trying to get them to come move to Atlanta. But, Sonia seems pretty square with her husband, and square like in a good way, like they're out of the shits and there's nothing really going on. But I can't imagine that there's not something going on when you chose to be on The Real Housewives. So I'm not really sure about that. We can only guess that there's got to be a little bit of something for someone to sign up to come over here. Because I tell you what, Drew is a piece of work. That's the one who's always crying. This was the outfit the night that her husband gave her kind of like a date night. She was dressed like she was Beyonce. Like she was dressed like she was getting ready to go on stage. It was the weirdest outfit. I was kind of surprised that that was her outfit for a dinner. I thought that was it was just tacky. I didn't like it at all. Anyway, so I'm assuming all of you guys are watching. If you're not watching, get into it because it's actually a pretty decent season. I'm not like loving everything because I do still think that some key people that they should bring back are still missing. Like I don't they need to bring back Phaedra. Word on the street was that Phaedra's coming back. I don't know if she's coming back or not, but you know how a lot of times that's going to happen mid-season. If she's not back now, she won't be back for a little while. So we'll see if Phaedra comes on. We'll see if Portia comes on. Um, let's see. Henya husband wants to have. Yeah, is that even newsworthy? Like, okay, he wants to have another baby. Just 1 second. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's kind of my recap for Real Housewives. I didn't really see anything that really happened other than just kind of just some, conversation. I think the main tea right now is that, Drew is upset because of her husband. Candy is basically selling her marriage out for potential problems with her and Todd. Sheree, we still don't know anything, and that's probably the way it's always going to be. Kenya, girl, she's not above acting and making shit up. So I don't really know. Like, there's just not really a whole lot going on. So right now, it's just kicking off. It's just starting. So I mean, it's okay. I'm not feeling like ooh, like on my juicy meter. It's probably at a 2 on a scale of 5. So I'm not even giving it a 3. It's messy. That's the best I can give it. It's certainly not juicy. There's nothing going on. Um, the conversation back and forth about the assistant, who cares? Since when does someone who works for someone doesn't have some beef with them over something? Either they don't like the way you talk to them, they don't feel like they're paid enough, they don't feel like they're paid their worth. There's any number of reasons why someone who works for you and works independently for you is going to have some beef with you. So it's not to say that this guy is right and Drew is wrong, but Drew entertaining the gossip from the assistant about her friend Sheree is weird because Drew should, as a coworker, have told this person to kind of stop running this person's business to me because I don't want to hear it. But apparently, Sheree and Drew, this assistant that they share, it's getting back to Candy. It's getting back to pretty much the whole group that this person is being extremely messy with Drew about Sheree. And if Drew does not know it yet, Sheree will get all up in her face. So we'll see what happens. We'll see and just wait because if that's how Drew wants it, I think Sheree will give her that smoke if that's what she wants. So I guess we're just gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. So okay, guys, I'm gonna let y'all go. We're not gonna keep this too long. Just wanted to get everybody up to date and what I saw. If you feel like I left out a detail, go ahead and comment on it down below and we'll talk about it down in the comments or we'll come back later this week. If you guys want to see some Real Housewives gossip and talk about what's going on in Real Housewives, not on the episodes, let me know down in the comments and maybe we can talk about that once a week or something. But for right now, this is a good little catch up on what's happened so far. Like I said, we're into episode 4 and, I think they're trying. But I would just say this also. At a certain point, sometimes it's time to flip the cast. And some of these women have been on here 10, 15 years right now. Sheree's been on here off and on since the very first season, and she doesn't have nothing else going on. Sheree has never been married the whole time. This is Real housewives. So to be a housewife, you must be a wife. And she is a divorcee of over 10 years. I've never seen Sheree with a man in her house. So it's kind of like, what are you doing here? So now, Kenya, she's divorced. And Sheree is divorced too, but it's been a minute, Sheree. And Kenya, girl, I'm talking about you too. And Marlo, okay, we know you're interesting and fun. You got the two kids, but where's the relationships? And for them to make people leave the show because of relationships and not being able to share enough, I'm just kind of surprised that you have people on that won't share at all. So anyway, I'm going to go. Guys, you guys have a great evening. I'm glad that you guys came through so we could discuss a little bit of Housewives and get caught up. So we will talk about this maybe later in the week if there's anything else to talk about. If you've heard anything about Peter Thomas and Giselle from Potomac dating, girl, let me know down in the comments. I can't imagine that she would be interested, even though Peter is a nice looking man, but that would just be a little bit of trouble to me. I wouldn't be interested. I just think, again, it's messy. That's the main thing that I can think of. Girl, is messy, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know. You guys tell me what you think down below. Make sure if you want to come back and comment, and yeah, let me know your thoughts. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and run. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining me for this Real Housewives of Atlanta recap, reaction, and review. We will talk about them again this time next week, okay? Y'all have a good evening. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming to see me. Take care, ladies.